Well, hey there, tall, dark, and brooding. Oh, don't give me that look. I mean, as a compliment. You know, when I saw you sitting on that bench in the park the other day, the first thing I thought was, now there's a guy who knows how to accessorize with shadows. I mean, seriously, well done. Not everyone can pull off the whole goth vibe, but you make it work for you. So, are you ready to go on our little nocturnal rendezvous? I hope you like coffee shops. I chose a little cozy little cafe because it's cozy. And also because it's open at this time of night. But it'll be a bit bright in there. Sorry. But they do make a killer moonberry pie. You've got to try it. No? Okay, fine. More for me then. You know, I'm actually really excited about this. I mean, come on, how often does a werewolf get to go out with a vampire? We're practically a match made in, actually, I don't know where. Somewhere between heaven and hell, I guess. Limbo? Purgatory? Or whatever. Let's just call it a supernatural sweet spot. You know, I've got to confess. I've always had kind of a thing for the pale broody type, and you've got it. Let me tell you, that whole pale thing you're rocking, it's very chic, very now, very very eternal. Oh, come on, that was funny. I saw that little twitch of a smile. You can't hide it from me. I've got that enhanced vision, you know. I can spot a smile from a mile away, even if it's just a little teeny tiny microscopic one like that one was. Speaking of enhanced senses, though, I don't know if you can catch. I hope there's no slate eau de wet dog. I may have taken a quick dip in the lake before coming here. You know how it is. Yeah, full moon's coming up. I get a little bit frisky. You know, just nothing like a good swim to take the edge off. Plus, it helps keep the fleas at bay. Not that I have fleas. I mean, I do bathe. I do keep clean. And also, they make really good flea shampoos nowadays. Okay, how about we just let that be enough about me and my grooming habits. Tell me about yourself. Or don't. You know, that's cool too. I do respect the whole strong, silent thing you've got going on. It's very mysterious. Very, very sexy. I bet you've got centuries of practice brooding under your belt. Yeah, come on, let's go get you a cup of coffee strong enough that it could raise the dead. Get it? 'Cause, you know, vampire? No? All right. Tough crowd. So, darling vampire, can I call you that? Or do you prefer something else? Like creature of the night? Eternal one? How about Fangface? No, okay. Sorry. You know, I'll stick with whatever name you gave me earlier, which, was, you know, I don't think you actually told me your name. Huh. Strong silent type indeed. And anyway, as I was saying before I so rudely interrupted myself, I'm glad you agreed to this date. When I approached you in the park, I half expected you to turn into a bat and fly away or something, you know, but you didn't. You just sat there, looking all dramatic and pained, existentially tormented. It was adorable. I've got to admit, I was a little shy about asking you out. I mean, there is always that whole predator-prey dynamic to consider, but then I realized, well, hey, actually, we are both apex predators here, so we're practically made for each other. Peanut butter and jelly. Except instead of peanut butter, it's fur, and instead of jelly, it's blood. But okay, but maybe that analogy needs some work. You know what? I've always wondered, what's it like being a vampire? Is it all it's cracked up to be? You know, the eternal youth, the superhuman strength, the ability to turn into mist. I bet that last one comes in handy when you're trying to squeeze into a packed subway car. Oh, me. Okay. Well, yeah. Being a werewolf has its perks. I mean, sure. The monthly full moon transformations can be a bit of a hassle. We discussed the whole thing about the clothes and the transformations, but on the plus side, the hearing is fantastic. I can hear a rabbit sneeze from a mile away. Not that I'm particularly into eating rabbits or anything. I'm more of a vegan werewolf, except on full moons, and then it's just really all bets are off. But hey, nobody's perfect, right? It was really awkward once when I woke up in the morning after a full moon, and I realized that I'd left a poor little baby bunny motherless. Long story short, I have a pet now. His name's Stu. Would you like to see a picture? Here you go. I hope I'm not boring you. It's just that you're so easy to talk to. You know? You kind of seem like you've seen it all. Like nothing would shock you or surprise you or be weird to you. I bet you've got some amazing stories. All those years of unlife. It's a lot of history right there. Have you ever met any famous historical figures? Oh, did you ever hang out with Byron and the Shelleys that one summer? Were you part of the French Revolution? Did you inspire any Gothic novels? I bet you did, you gorgeous devil, you. Oh. Well, you know, I've always been a bit of a history buff myself. It comes with the territory, I suppose. You know, when you're part of a lineage of shapeshifters that dates back to the ancient times, you kind of have to keep track of your family tree. Let me tell you, it was a wild ride. Did you know that my great 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 I lost track of greats. But anyway, one of them, my grandmother, was actually the wolf that raised Romulus and Remus. Okay, I can see the skeptical look in your eyes. Yeah, no, you got me. I made that up, but it would be cool if it were true, wouldn't it? Talk about a family legacy. But seriously, I do come from a long line of werewolves. We've been around for well, a long time. Not as long as vampires, I'm sure, but you know, we've seen our fair share of history. We've adapted, you know. Gone from being feared monsters of legend to, well, actually, we're still kind of feared monsters of legend, but, you know, now with day jobs and Netflix accounts. So, there's that. Speaking of adaptations, how do you handle the whole blood drinking thing in the modern world? I mean, I can't imagine it's easy in this day of, like, Ring doorbells everywhere and DNA testing. Do you have like a blood bank connection, or is it all synthetic these days? I heard there is a new plant-based blood substitute on the market. Have you tried that? I hear it's not very good. A little earthy and notes of beet and iron, but perfect for the eco-conscious vampire. So there's that. Oh, listen to me asking all these personal questions. I hope I'm not making you uncomfortable. It's just that I find you kind of fascinating. I mean, you're so very still. You're so calm. Almost like you were dead. But in a good way. I mean, like, you know, like as in patient as death. you know, but sexier. I have to say, I'm really enjoying this date so far. It's not often I get to sit across from somebody who makes me feel so alive. Ironic, isn't it? Here you are, technically dead, and yet you give me all these warm, fuzzy feelings. Well, I mean, I suppose warm and fuzzy is kind of my default state, being a werewolf and all. But you know what I mean. But, suffice it to say, I'm having fun here. I like to make the most of every moment, like carpe diem and all that. Or, well, carpe noctem for you? Oh, carpe jugulum. But anyway, I'm just saying that that in this moment, right here, right now, I am very happy to be with you. I know that you're kind of broody, and I know that you have reason for it. The world can be pretty dark sometimes. Believe me, I get it. I really do. When you've got those enhanced senses, something of the weight of the world can feel overwhelming. All the noise, all the smells, all that humanity. It can be a lot to take in. But that's also why it's so super important to find joy in all the little things, like a strong cup of coffee, or a really good joke, or a date with a mysteriously attractive vampire who hasn't run away screaming yet. I mean, most people, when faced with an overly chatty werewolf, tend to make a break for it. But not you. You just sit there cool as a cucumber. Or should I say, cold as a corpse. Oh, no, that's a bit morbid, isn't it? Sorry about that. Sometimes my mouth runs faster than my brain. But you know what? I like that about myself. I mean, sure, okay, yeah. I put my foot in my mouth sometimes, and with these canines that can be painful, but at least I'm never afraid to speak my mind. Life is too short to hold back, Oh, well, no, you wouldn't, because yours isn't, but, you get what I mean, right? So, what do you say? Why don't we go and get coffee and order some dessert? I know you probably don't eat much, what with the whole blood thing, but they do have these amazing chocolate cakes here. It's to die for. Oh, wait. Oh, that was a bad choice of words. It's to live for? To unlive for. What? Whatever's good for you. And hey, if you don't want any, you can always watch me eat. I've been told I am quite entertaining when I am devouring sweets. It's the whole wolf thing. We tend to get a bit enthusiastic about our meals. Oh, you're giving me that look again. That is the one that says, I have seen centuries rise and fall, and yet I do not know how this furry chatterbox is the most perplexing thing I've ever encountered. That's okay. Don't worry. I get a lot of that. As long as you're enjoying it. And I know you are. I can see that little glimmer in your eyes. It's like a spark of life in those centuries-old peepers of yours. I've always wondered about vampire eyes. Do they really change color when you're hungry, or angry, or attracted to someone? Wink, wink. Huh? Okay. I'm just asking for scientific purposes. Yep. Werewolf eyes go all golden and glowy when we're about to transform. It's like having a built-in mood lighting, but very convenient for reading in bed. Speaking of bed, I know I touched on this before, but seriously, what is the deal with the coffins? I mean, have you ever even tried nesting? Pile up some blankets, add a few chew toys, and oh, the chew toys would be more of a me thing, but still. I just realized. Oh, it's kind of forward to be talking about sleeping arrangements on a first date. I promise I'm not trying to pressure you in any way. And let's be honest, you seem like you'd be pretty well able to resist being pushed by anything or anyone. Actually, I have to say I am very impressed with your self-control. I mean, look at this. Here I am, a warm-blooded creature practically gift-wrapped in front of you, and you haven't even glanced at my neck. That's what I call willpower. Oh, or oh dear, maybe I'm just not your type. Oh no, is it the fur? It's the fur, isn't it? I know. I should have gotten the full body wax before our date. I knew. Oh, do we? I never knew our blood could affect you guys like that. Well, no wonder we're always at a, well, almost peace between us. I mean, almost. We do tend to stay to our particular environs, though, so there's that as well. They say opposites attract, and I'm starting to think there might be something to that. I mean, look at that. Here we are, a chatterbox wolf and a silent vampire, and yet I feel like we've got something special brewing here. Don't you? I think so. Or is that like... Is that like your vampire powers? You guys have hypnosis, that hypnosis thing, don't you? I mean, I'm not complaining if you did it. I'm just saying I don't really think it was needed in my case. I was kind of into you from the start. But seriously, I hope I'm not overwhelming you with all these questions. I know I can be a bit much. It's the wolf in me, I guess. We're naturally curious creatures, always sniffing around, always exploring. It's part of our charm. At least that's what I like to tell myself. I have to admit, when I first decided to ask you out, I was a little nervous. I mean, werewolves and vampires aren't exactly known for being the best of friends. There's all that historical baggage, the occasional encroachment of territories, which admittedly I am guilty of, and, the arguments over who's the superior supernatural being and all that posturing. I've always believed in looking past all that, though, and seeing the individual, not the species. And when I look at you, I see someone very individual and very special. Someone who's seen so much in their lifetime, more than I could ever hope to see in mine. And someone who carries the weight of centuries on their shoulders. And yet, you still find the strength to go on. To adapt and to evolve, I admire that about you. Your resilience, your ability to keep going. No matter what. It's really inspiring. Makes my little monthly transformation seem like small potatoes in comparison. But I am getting very serious, and this is supposed to be a fun date, not a therapy session. Could you just imagine? I do think that we supernatural creatures could use a bit of therapy, but also, could you imagine? Talking about my on-again, off-again relationship with the moon or your addiction to blood. But you know what? I wouldn't have it any other way. Being a werewolf is just part of who I am, just like being a vampire is part of who you are. And I think that is beautiful. Our differences, our quirks, our supernatural shenanigans, it's all what makes us unique. All what makes us special. I think that this date is turning out to be pretty special. Two creatures of the night enjoying each other's company. Well, I'm enjoying your company. I hope you're enjoying mine, even if I am doing most of the talking. But also, like I said, I like that about us. I like that I can ramble on about anything and everything. You just sit there, taking it all in. You look like you're absorbing every word, every laugh, every silly little joke, and every now and then I catch a glimpse of that little smile tugging at the corner of your mouth, and it makes my heart skip a beat. Is that weird? A werewolf's heart skipping a beat for a vampire? I don't think so. I think it's kind of poetic, actually. Like a supernatural Romeo and Juliet. Minus all the uncles and cousins who want to get political at family gatherings. Oh, wow, look at this. You know what? If we're going to do anything, we're going to have to do it because the sun is going to be coming up soon. I guess that's our cue to get moving, huh? But you know what? Before we get in there, I do want to say thank you. And thank you for agreeing to this date, for taking a chance on this date, for sitting here and listening to me ramble. Thank you for being you in all your brooding, mysterious, vampiric glory. I hope that I hope you'll want to do this again sometime. I know we haven't even gotten in there yet, but I'm already looking forward to the next one. And I promised that I will let you get a word in edgewise. If not tonight, then next time for sure. or maybe we can make that our thing. I'll be the chatty werewolf, you be the silent vampire, and yeah, we'll make it work. Yeah, I think so too. All right, let's get on in there. Hey there, cupcakes. I hope you enjoyed that one. I certainly had fun recording it, as always. You know what else I had fun doing? Yesterday, I went through my Instagram. I don't have a lot of followers on Instagram, but I went through my Instagram followers and went looking at all of your pictures. And wow, I got a good looking group there. I am impressed. Wow, you guys are cute. You know who else I bet is good looking? Gypsy Diver and Thomas Carter and Aaron Nobby and Donald Druce, because they are my newest cupcakes, and cupcakes always look good, don't they? They always look good. And of course, I also have my usual suspects, my usual beautiful suspects to thank. There is Dan, Confused But Still Here, Bowman, Alton Good Bottle, Disbanded Crow, Techo, Amphizenas, Mushan Gaming, Tomas Rogers, Your Skating Wolfie, No State Rogue Scholar, Barry Wilburn, Esteed, Anon, SLE Photo, Harper Evolution, Justin Martin. I can speak. I do it all the time. Wolf9004, Malicilo, Army Guy 007, Mr. Fabulous, Lou, Bunny, Tiny the Taxman, Meryl, Mr. Rickles, Anon, Darth Mythos, Red Death 48, Always Able, Vagar, Moon, Old Bean UK, Klua Bear, The Swaggy Llama, Cody, Artlow, Pierce Tailish, and Christian Cleopa. Still my favorite name to say, by the way. Someday, some lucky woman's going to marry Christian, get the best last name. All right. Thank you all so very much, you guys. I hope you will be as good to yourselves as you are to me, and I will talk to you on Tuesday. Take care.